Hello everyone, today we are going to configure Java web application using Docker Compose. We have Spring Framework codebase which is in Java and an exported MySQL file. The main components are we require Java 8, Maven, Tomcat and MySQL database server 5.5. So if you want to start this project on localhost without any Docker container, we just need to clone this Spring Framework codebase from Git and we need to import this SQL file in MySQL 5.5 database server. Once the codebase is cloned, we need to run mvn clean install and it will create a war file. This mvn needs Java 8. If higher version of Java is there, this will give error. So we specifically require Java 8. Once the war file is created, we are going to deploy this war file in web apps folder of Tomcat. And once the Tomcat is running, we can access our project in the browser. If you do not want to follow all these steps, we can configure this project using Docker Compose. So what is the primary objective with Docker Compose? Well, user will clone the repository and he will run Docker Compose up command. The command will be executed in the root directory of the clone project. So once the command is executed, all required containers should be launched, and once the process is done, user will open the project in the browser using localhost URL. So this is our primary objective. Now why we are configuring this project with Docker Compose when we can set this project on our local? Well, there are certain requirements with this project. We need MySQL version, specifically 5.5. We have 5.6 or higher version, our MySQL will not work. Similarly, Maven should be run with Java 8 only. If we have Java 11, Java 17 or higher version, the Maven will not work. And there are some changes in Tomcat configuration files also. So if you are going to give this project to any tester or any second developer and they want to set up this project on their local, you need to tell them all these dependencies, otherwise they will not be able to set this project on their local. Here we are going to set up Docker Compose. Here we have our Spring Framework codebase and exported MySQL file. First we are going to create Docker Compose YML file. Here I am selecting version 2. We are going to create 3 services: DB, Apache and Maven build. Under DB, our Docker file will be inside DB folder. This is container name and this is ports. I am going to map same port with the host. Under volumes, this is the SQL file. It will be imported whenever the container will be started. I am going to copy this file inside Docker entry point initdb. And if our database should be persistent, I am going to map database folder also. So whenever new container will be launched, we are going to see the same data. Under environment, I am going to select some variables. This is MySQL root password. Our database name. MySQL username. And MySQL password. This user password and database name we have used in our project DB configuration file. If you see this DB configuration file, here we have used same username and password, and this is our database name and this is the MySQL container name. Now under Apache service, our Docker file will be inside Apache folder. This is container name. Ports, I am going to map same port with the host. This service will depend on database and Maven. Under Maven, this is our Docker file will be inside Maven folder, and entry point, I'm going to use one entry point script. This should be executed when container will be running. This is our container name, and it should restart always if container is not running. I'm going to map Tomcat port with the host port, and this container will depend on database. So this is our Docker compose file. Now I'm going to create DB folder for DB service, copying this dump.sql inside it, and now going to create Docker file. I am pulling image MySQL 5.5. Now Apache folder. Inside Apache folder, this is my Docker file. First I am pulling the image Ubuntu Apache 2. Then I am going to copy this configuration file inside Apache 2. I will create this configuration file in the same folder. Now I am going to enable these modules, proxy and proxy HTTP. This is Apache configuration file. Here I am copying this virtual host. So if you see this virtual host, it will proxy passing into Tomcat container, and it will open using localhost/project name. Now this is our Maven folder. Now here Docker file. Inside Docker file, this will be dual layer Docker file. So in the first layer, I am going to pull first Maven image. This is compatible with Java 8. Now I am copying my project folder inside this Maven container. This will be our work directory. And inside this project folder, I am going to run mvn clean install. Now in the second layer, I am pulling Tomcat image. So when this war file will be created, I am going to copy this war file in the Tomcat container. Now this is one configuration update command, so I am going to update this catalina.properties file. It is necessary, otherwise our project will not be up. Now I am going to copy entry point file inside the root directory of this container and providing execution permission to this entry point sh file. Now I am creating this docker entry point sh file. Okay, here in this file I am going to give sleep 60. I want it should wait up to 60 seconds, and then I am going to run this Tomcat service. Now I have also copied my project folder inside Maven. This is our complete setup. Now I am going to run Docker Compose up. Okay, all containers are created. These are the images and these are the running containers. Now I'm going to open the project using localhost URL. This is accessing Apache container. Okay, my application is up. Okay, I'm trying to log in. It means MySQL is also working fine. So my application is working fine here. Now I am trying to open the same application using Tomcat. I am using Tomcat port /project name. Okay, I can access my application using Tomcat also. Login is working, it means MySQL is fine. So that's how you can configure your project using Docker Compose. I hope this tutorial will help you.